Was it entrepreneurialism? Was it just a passion for music? What was it that was undone that led you to where you are today?
Well, I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
My wife would say that I have to be challenged, and and every now and then, I would be doing things, and after a while, it would be intriguing,
Yeah.
but it would become boring.
Yeah.
And so from there, I was pretty much like, wow. And so I was monitoring the music industry, and I was seeing all the changes and hearing all the discontent of artists like Prince,
Right.
and Taylor Swift of late and things
Yeah.
of that nature. So by getting to see the technology that was coming, the streamings and all this different stuff, I started thinking that when the music industry changed from analog to digital, they kept the same structure in place.
So let's peel that back for a second,
Okay, go ahead.
right? For those who maybe weren't intimate with what happened, the pre and post Napster.
Right.
If you were an artist and a musician, the entire business model completely flipped,
Completely flipped.
right?
Yes.
Where you used to have artists that would make serious bank as an artist in their recordings,
Exactly.
that when it went digital, that by and large went away for the artist, correct?
Correct.
And then it was, if I understand it correctly, it's mostly they're making their money on the road,
On
not
tours,
in their
tours.
recording.
Correct.
Right. So so when you're seeing all of this happening in the digital side, what does that look like to the musician at that point, as far as that they're going to iTunes and the Spotifys or Napsters? I mean, what kind of a decrease in income or challenges do the musicians face in that scenario?
It was dramatic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the whole entire industry, it was a drastic change because, you're going from, album sales, CD sales to where you're making 99 cents on a regular sale of a CD, of a disc.
Or nothing,
or
because
nothing,
of the pirating. And,
The pirating, and then, or people could just get your album for free.
Right.
That it got so bad that the artists actually started giving their content for free.
right.
So that's, it was just a time that there were no laws. It was just the Wild West. And
Right.
unfortunately, the artists was the ones that suffered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you have a scenario. Was there like a mass exodus of people as artists trying to look at having a viable lifestyle as an artist? Or what did that look like as you were considering Dousic? Were artists still there? They're just starving?
They were basically starving artists,
Right.
and basically doing anything to try to survive.
Right.
The passion of their music they still loved, but it was hard for them to make a living.
Right.
So a lot of people probably walked away that regretted today that they would have stayed the course, or trying later in their careers to try to do like I did, come back from a career to be back in doing what you love in the music industry.
So, I don't want to get ahead of the story here,
Okay.
but all of that ugly and this destruction of the business model about music. Tell me the story about where the light goes off and the inspiration that would lead to what you're doing today.
Well, the light always was there.
Yeah.
But the aha moment never happened. But I always, after leaving and still working in technology, but still people still knowing my reputation of what I had done in the music industry, it was pretty much that I would meet people and hear their sad stories,
Right.
hear why they're not in the music industry, and or they're still pressing their CDs, they're still doing this, but
On
they
their
can't
own.
on their own. Everything was done on their own. Independent artists everywhere, and then we were home back in Mississippi, ironically, and there was just this fabulous group of artists that had great music. They performed well and everything, but nobody outside of that part knew them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they was like, well, hey, can you help us? And I was like, well, I don't manage anymore is what
Right.
my thing was. But it gave me that aha moment to say, well, hey, I can't manage. I
In
don't
a
want to
traditional sense.
in tradition.
Yeah.
But what if I take what I've learned from management and take the technology that I've learned and put it together and maybe create a platform that could help all these artists, not just one, give everybody a level playing field to be able to do what they love. and make revenue from it.
So how would that be different than an iTunes or a Spotify or something then, right? You're creating this digital platform.
Right. So
What would it be different?
So
How
what,
would
what we do differently is we give total control to the creators, to the artists. And we serve also more like an incubator. Instead of, if you go to iTunes, you more than likely, they're going to go find somebody that knows how to upload the music or pay somebody. So you're
Right.
paying money out. But what we try to do is do it in the incubator. We have a motto that says, where you played, you get paid. So you don't have to go track down or go through a TuneCore or these other platforms to wonder where your music at. It's going to be right on.
You're
our
providing
platform.
that data, that
Yeah,
analytic data
we're gonna
right
get
back.
right back to you, real time, everything.
it.
We're going to give you the interactions, everything to help you subliminally learn the industry and learn what you should be getting, instead of just depending on somebody else to tell you, quote unquote.
So you're giving them kind of a real-time education as well, as far as
Exactly.
where, how, and what rate at which, where the financial return is
Exactly.
for the artist.
Exactly. If you sell something, we notify you.
Right.
It's not, a lot of times there's no way you can go on, say, iTunes or say Amazon and something sells. There's not a notification that comes back to you immediately says somebody bought my music. You
Right.
have to wait on the tracking agent to say, hey, we're tracking that the music was sold. So that's what we do different. We give you real-time analytics. And
So was the idea originally for Dousic to be purely a platform to stream from the platform, or is there, as you envisioned it and as it works today, is there an engagement into traditional media through radio or other platforms that Dousic can connect the artist to?
So what we did with Dousic was to take all of the different functionalities, the radio station,
Right.
for the artist to get access. We wanted to create a partnership there. We created a streaming platform for them to generate revenue there, as well as the download revenues and things of that nature was the key thing we were looking at. But not just musicians, we wanted any content creator to be
Right.
able to take their content and make it available to the public, and they control how what's paid, if they sell it, and things of that nature. So right now, one thing that that's big is that a lot of people don't realize just your photos alone, that you're taking your regular
Right.
family photos and you're posting them on these social media sites, that they're actually being sold around the world. So somebody's making money off your content. So we want to not only to take all that type content to where these photos are now watermarked, and then the creators are setting their price. And then, if we take a family portrait, then somebody comes along and say, I want, I like that family portrait. Then they pay us to download it and take the watermarks off. So those are the little things, nuances that we're doing with Dousic too.
So it's kind of like a Getty Images for the common man in a way, as well,
Yeah,
right?
Getty Images.
Yeah.
If you just imagine.
Pond5, all these other aggregators of.
But we're giving the creators control. And I'll use a story. I'll use Prince's story that I always use. So when Prince, right before he died, he did Purple Rain and on a purple piano in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
There was only one girl that filmed that recording. She then turned around, took the recording after Prince died, and placed it on her Instagram page. And that's how all the news media outlets went to her page, got it for free, where she had Dousic. She could have posted it on Dousic, set a price, and sold and made money from that. So that's
huge.
what we want to do.